Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Greg. I'm going to go over Bitcoin, and also I'm going to go over total two, total three, and total market cap, and I'll explain those what I'm looking at. But first, I want to go over what Flash Gordon over here, Flash G8, Flash Gordon reminds me of Flash Gordon, man, that old show. But he had a question about Bitcoin. So look, here is the deal. We don't know. Nobody can know 100% what Bitcoin's doing from here. There's no 100% guarantees in the markets, right? So what you have to do is you have to wait and see how everything plays out. So anybody's giving you time horizon conclusively without saying it's a possibility or a probability beyond 3 months is giving you dodgy advice, because going beyond 3 months in any market is very, very difficult. So right now, what I'm doing with Bitcoin is it's potentially probably in a correction. Has it finished it? Don't know. It needs to get out of there to prove to me wrong that it's not, right? And by the way, drop a like, get the subscribe button, be really appreciated. Now, how deep is it going to go? Okay. So here's Bitcoin on a weekly chart on Bitstamp, right? And you have a wave up and it come back down, and it has another wave up here too. We don't know what this is going to be. It could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It could be A, B, C. We just don't know. And that's going to change your strategy once this goes up. So he's related to the other coins. So as an example, let's say you're in Vietcoin, right? And this whole strategy can be, you have to be able to, I call it pickup basketball type of thing, like, okay, here's your plan, but it's not going to go according to plan. I can tell you that right now. It will not go according to plan. If you say, okay, I think Bitcoin go here, it will not go according to plan. It's going to throw you curveballs every time. So you have to realize that. And if it's going to be going up and just to like a three-way move, Bitcoin right here like this, well, then you have to go look at Vietcoin, and maybe you may have to exit at that point, okay? There's no guarantees. Now, the one I said for a 2-year time horizon is that Bitcoin comes down and it's going into another bullish trend like that, okay? There's no guarantee that that's going to happen either. But so you have to play this by ear. I hope that makes sense. There's various ways that this can go. I mean, I'm bullish on Bitcoin. Do a correction and at least do another swing up, okay? More likely targeting the 48 to the 55K area, and it could be up there to 69. If that does happen, you'll have probably some really, really good runs on some of those coins that I just showed you. More than likely, guys. Just like Bitcoin did last time when Bitcoin went up, just like the other coins went up, okay? Substantially more than Bitcoin, okay? Like multiple X's, Bitcoin went up 100%, okay? Now, of course, there's risk to it, right? Those coins have much higher risk, and there's no guarantee that they could do that again, and Bitcoin's much lower risk. It depends on how you want to do it. Usually it goes with bag size. If you're going to be putting in 100 or 200 or $300,000 or more, then more than likely that person is going to be in Bitcoin and not in Vietcoin. Okay. Or if they're in Bitcoin, they want to be in Vietcoin, they'll have their massive, huge bag that's like 60% of their portfolio with something that size, and then maybe have like a 1 or 2%, maybe 3% of their portfolio taking that risk on Viet. Okay. Now, some of the other guys are looking for the massive returns where they have a real small and they only have like 3 or 5 grand that they can put into the market. That becomes a very delicate situation because you have less room for error when you have such a small amount of funds to work with. Okay. So like if you have 5K and you lose 50%, now you're down 25, and to recover from that's very, very difficult. Somebody with a large amount of money has a lot more room for error. So you have to take that in consideration. So there's various things that can happen with Bitcoin, guys. So there's no guarantee. Let me see. I'm on the BLX. Let me go out to a 3-month chart right now. And this is kind of the pattern I'm looking at for Bitcoin, guys. So it's going to be grinding here for a while. Look, this is a video I just made yesterday about that whole Shield protocol, GraphLink protocol, and Vietcoin. You have probably at least 2 months to like get yourself prepared for this, maybe even 3 months, okay, before this probably takes off. I don't think it's going to be right now, but hey, could surprise me. So you have time to plan. There is absolutely no rush, okay? Just sit back, relax, check them out, and look at them and see what they're doing for the period of time. You have time. You just have time, guys. There's no rush right now. I don't think there's going to be a moonshot in the cryptocurrency market is what I'm saying. So But this is a 12-month chart on BLX, guys, which is the whole Bitcoin chart from July 2010. And in my opinion, you can see this highest peak on this 3-month chart is right there. I don't have this data over here, but I think on the 2-month chart is better data. Let me check that out. I'll show you right here, 2-month. You can see on this 2-month chart, that's the highest peak. Now the data changes from time frame to time frame. So I'm just trying to go off, make an assessment that's reasonable. And to me, it just, a massive wave here with most amount, and then it had another massive move there, telling you the RSI that this wave is probably the same sequence as this wave according to this chart. So it's not 1 2 1 2. It could be 1 2 3 4, and then you see how this is lower in this area. Okay, so it could be one that's making the fifth wave, if you will. The 1 2 3 4 5, and the fifth wave you have divergence. And you may have one more shot right up there to make a pattern kind of like that, in my opinion. I think it's going to be a grind, and why Bitcoin is acting and the crypto market is probably acting, not only the economic factors, if you will. It's not actually the economic factors that are making Bitcoin do what it's doing. It's the people that are taking that in consideration and not entering into crypto. It's not those factors. It's just they're going higher interest rates. My friends down the street can't afford anything, therefore Bitcoin can't go up. That's how a lot of them are thinking. And that's not how it works. They're just not entering in. So it's having a struggle, and it could have a grind up there, if that makes sense. I hope that makes sense, because I don't think there's, like maybe a wave like this, but not that long, over here. Okay. Something like that, guys, is what I'm kind of checking out for. So, and that to me would be the end of it. Now that can take all the way to 2025, guys, and just grind all the way back up there. So you have to realize that too. But let me go over these total market caps. And I will start with the total 3 market cap on the weekly. So we don't have a lot of data on total 3, which is this is all the cryptos except Bitcoin and Ethereum. And it definitely has some weakness over there, guys, so on the weekly chart here, this is coming out to me with the same typical pattern. So you can see on the weekly chart, you see this RSI right here. This was a massive spike, and it's higher than all the way over here. So this section more than likely is somehow being a lower sequence than this somehow, whether this is 1 2 and this is another 1 2. However that works out, but more than likely, I think that it's probably in a pattern like this. Okay, so one of the things is that here down at this low in December of 18, and then it actually wicked past it. So technically, if you're following the Elliott wave rules, you can't count this as a 1 2. The rules, but some crazy things happen. Cardano did the same thing too. It did the same type of move, came down, and actually took it out more, and on a wave 1 2, like one of the rule is that it goes up into a wave. If it comes back down into a correction and breaks that section right there, then that breaks that rule of 1 2 wave sequence. And so then therefore you take a look at this and you're like, well, what kind of pattern is it doing? You certainly have an impulsive move here. And I'm looking at this, and just on this weekly chart, you can see 1 2 3 4 5, and then possibly 1 2 3 4 5. So maybe this was the whole impulse. This whole thing could have been the correction, and more than likely you may have something along the lines where it could be doing like a diagonal type move, and then whizzed up here, and then it's over here trying to suss this out, and then maybe another move just like that. Something like that, guys, is what I'd be checking out. And the RSI would suggest that down here too. Okay, back down and then up. Now, the argument too is that it could be complete there, and this is a correction, and it's coming back down like that. Don't know that yet, guys. That's you have to wait and see what's going to happen in that area. So that's how I'm looking at with total 2, kind of the same pattern as Bitcoin is doing too. Or total 3, excuse me. Here's total 2, which is the total crypto market cap without Bitcoin, and it's a little bit stronger, but you can see it's the same deal here. This is a massive wave up, but if you look at the RSI on the weekly, you have a highest peak right there. You see, it didn't take that one. This one didn't take it out, and that one didn't take it out. So what does that mean? That means this wave right here was your strongest wave with the most momentum and completed that 5th wave. So you had divergence there. So you have impulsive move there. And then on this one too, It came real close to taking that out in this area, okay? In this area right here. You can see that wick right down below it. Same situation, possibly. You know, someone say 1, 2, 3, 4, it's done, and it's going to do a massive correction over here. That's a possibility. Possibility. When I look at this wave that it did in here too, just on the weekly chart, I'm seeing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then back here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So more likely it did a move here, and it's sussing itself out in this area, potentially make a one last move up in that area. Kind of like the rest of the some of the other assets that are like that. So I give you an example. Looks like Bitcoin could be like that. Ethereum could be like that. XRP looks like it's going up for one more. Matic looks like possibly one more. Binance coin is all in there, and it's got all these issues now with the SEC. I guess they made a deal out that they're all going to be friends, and what's going on with that, you know. But you look at Binance coin, it's looking like the same thing, and all of them are the same dynamic, if you will, behavior patterns where they're just struggling to get that off. And that is a signal for an ending wave, guys. It's like an ending fifth wave sometimes, okay? Not all the time. They do have blow-offs, but, you know, usually at the end of a cycle, that's usually how it goes, you know, that very, very end. The fifth wave of a third wave, as an example, could have a massive blow-off, and then it goes into a fifth wave of the last ending wave and not have that and just struggle to get up there. So that's how I'm looking at that, okay? And the indication that RSI down here is what I'm kind of suspecting. So you could, you know, if this is a 5-wave sequence, it's very difficult to get that out of there. So the argument is, if you take a look at this 4 for this area is way too big for this 1, but this 2 is way big too for that 4. You know, it's in crypto, it's just different, guys. You gotta wing it and get prepared for, what the market is going to give you, okay? So that's the important thing, because if you come here to AVAX, here's a wave 2, and here's a massive wave 4. This wave, shallow wave 2, deep wave 4. So you can't say, well, the wave 4s don't go deep and stuff like that. I hear that argument, and there's example after example. I'll go, there you go, look at that. Explain that, you know? So it's just going to depend. I think it's sussing itself out in this area. And once it's finished on its correction, then here, you know, whatever it's doing in this section goes sideways, and then maybe eventually it'll probably just grind its way up, something like that, guys. Same thing as with Total 3. Here's total market cap. It is the same deal. Obviously, this mega wave that it did in the beginning is not as big as Total 2. That's probably because of Ethereum, because Ethereum did a massive run. What was it, like $35 up to $4,600, or, you know, what went from pennies to like that massive run. But it's the same thing here, guys. You take a look at this RSI, and on the weekly, that peak is the highest peak. So what does that mean? That means this wave is the main wave, and then over here, this is either 1, 2, and then 1, 2, or this sequence is somehow connected with this in this pattern that I have like that. That's the only explanation to it on the weekly chart that I can come up with. You know, I could be wrong. This one didn't take out that previous wave. So now they have an argument of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it came down here, and it can come roll back over here, guys. So far, the signals are saying that that's not going to happen, that at least there's going to be a move up here, and it could have the same typical pattern and take it a long time to get up there and finally grind that out. I don't see these assets going too much higher than beyond the former all-time highs in 2021. And that was like right under about $3 trillion into this area or something like that, guys. So if it does do that, you know, it's in an ending, in my opinion, looking at that in an ending pattern with this wave. You know, here's your one, broke that. Here's a cycle right here, broke that. And it looks like it's into another cycle. And more than likely, in my opinion, with this cycle down here in the RSI, this is not going to break that. Okay. But this one's higher than that one, and this one will be lower than that one. Probably getting a pattern 1, 2 of some sort, 3, 4, and then boom, 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 5. That's how I'm looking at that, guys, with these charts right now, till it proves to me otherwise. Okay. You know, do I have 100% proof that is going to do that, to do this? No, I don't. But do you have 100% proof that it's going to do that? No, you don't. You have to wait and see what this wave pattern is going to play out. But right now, the signals are pointing more towards this asset, that it's in a corrective wave, just like Bitcoin going up. So let me go over Ethereum. So Ethereum is a big part of this plan too, right? So here's the Ethereum chart on the weekly chart. You can see right here is what I have for Ethereum. Okay, down here in the RSI, this is Ethereum's chart. Okay, and wave pattern here, and then it didn't break that area. I don't think that it did. No, it stayed above that area. So you have an argument that this could have been some sort of sequence all the way up, 5-wave sequence, and that's definitely an argument right there. And it come back down, is it going to grind back up? Or if the other argument is coming back down. But you can see here in this RSI that that is the highest peak right there. That is your wave with the most momentum on the weekly chart. Swung back down, went up. There you go, bearish divergence, completing that pattern right there, right? And swung back over here, and then you can see over here, here's your another impulse move with a massive amount of bearish divergence. And on Ethereum too, it's kind of the same thing, guys. I'm looking at this, that there's a potential that Ethereum could have done a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So you have an argument that, okay, this wave 4 is too big for this wave, or this wave 4 is too small for this wave, and you know, and on and on. But like I said, crypto does strange things. I go back to this example again on AVAX, you know, that they do crazy things sometimes to let you know on AVAX chart. So here's AVAX, you know, shallow wave 2 went up into this third wave, and deep wave 4. That was a very, very deep wave 4, guys. Look at that. From wick to wick, that was 84% drop. So you have to be able to make changes as the market makes changes for you. But as far as Ethereum goes, guys, I'm looking at it as in a similar type of pattern. Okay. And this wave sequence that it did right here is not, it didn't hit Fibonacci numbers really. It's more like, you know, starting of this move that it's doing, and it's in this ending section right here. And it has the behavior like all the other assets of doing something where it's going to end right here for Ethereum. So you have to really see Ethereum break down to negate this pattern. You want to see Ethereum break down, and if it gets to 1121, then you'd probably say, okay, this is not good, if you will. And if it breaks 886, and then you would have a pattern where that's all just a connector wave right here, guys. You have a pattern. This is a connector wave, okay, just like that, and it's connecting this wave, okay. And then you take something like that, and then you'd have something like this, okay? And then you take a look at the chart, and you go, okay, well, did Ethereum go, you know, a wave here, and then a wave here, and to correct this whole thing? It's a possibility, but right now, at this stage of the game, it doesn't seem to be probable, if that makes sense, okay? At this stage of the game, it doesn't seem to. Excuse me, I removed the wrong one here. So it's going to be a grind. I try to explain this to some that are looking at these wave patterns that go like this. Okay, so I'll show you. These wave patterns are very common in all assets. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into a move like so. I will show you real quick. Let me put the wave sequence on. Okay, so it's a move like this where you have a strong first wave, okay, and then you have the next wave and correction, and you have a third wave that will go up, and you have a fourth wave that can come on top of wave 1, or it can come all the way, as long as it doesn't break that second wave over there. And then you have a third wave like so. Okay, this is I want to say it's common, but it happens quite a bit more often. And this wave pattern, just like this, guys, okay, it's very common. And what happens, this is not the pattern where you get to your fifth wave blow off. Okay, this is your blow off. Okay, the first wave, and it comes down and corrects it. It gets up into that wave, comes down and corrects it. This fifth wave over here is a grind, grind like that, guys. Okay, so I'll show you some other assets too that have the same type of pattern, just to give you guys an idea. For those who are still, so here's GBTC. I'm going to show you GBTC. Go out to a monthly chart. And GBTC is in a similar pattern too, guys. And with this one, you want to keep your eye on it too, because whatever it's going to do is what Bitcoin's going to do, or vice versa. Okay, so this massive one that it did back down here, this is a 3-wave swing. That's the most probable move that it made. 3, and then back down, and it's going up for this wave like that, guys, making that pattern right there. Okay, similar type pattern. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, that's the highest probable one that I have right now, unless it breaks down from there. If it breaks down or it goes past that trend, then you have your answer. That's the only way you're going to know. And let's see, what's another coin that's in similar type pattern I look at all the time too is Litecoin. Litecoin, similar type pattern. I think Litecoin is losing some juice, and I don't think it's going to go as high as people think. This $1,000 target on this run, I don't see it, guys, unless something like, what is it? BlackRock throws in their 10% of their 8 trillion into crypto, then maybe it could do that. But this is actually where it started down here, this massive blow off right here. And these patterns don't have a fifth wave blow off. They have a fifth wave grind, just like what they're doing right now. That's another example. And then here with Binance Coin too. Where's Binance Coin, guys? So Binance Coin is in this pattern, right? And back here, you see massive wave one. This is your 1-2-1-2 wave sequence. And then in this section, you can see it went sideways from January 18 to February 20, so a long time, and then it ripped off this wave, and now it's in this section grinding it out. As long as Binance Coin doesn't break that low right there, it should be fine and could grind out a wave and finish up its sequence, you know, as long as everything's okay with Binance. But if you're bearish on Binance and you think this is breaking down, then, you know, this is your connector wave, and it is connecting this wave right here. And then you would, you know, be looking for a pattern, a 3-wave swing over there. You know, not to say it'll go that low, but, you know, somewhat like that. And then it would be, you know, this whole section right here would be your 4th wave of some sorts, like this, boom, boom, boom. And then Binance is coming down to that area, guys. But, you know, if you're looking at this, in my opinion, everything that's been thrown at Binance, and it's still, you know, it came down to that candle bodies right there. It probably has a fair value gap in that area that came down and hit. But right there in that section, it's very, besides this wick, you know, they're having a hard time, SEC, whoever's behind it, whoever wants to go after them, etc., trying to break it down. They're having a hard time doing it. I mean, still maintaining it, guys. But I'm not saying they can't do it. There's always that chance, but it looking like it's, you know, going to keep this pattern, guys, is how I'm looking at that. So, and then this section right here, kind of like this with Binance, you see how it's a sideways. You probably could have something in this section too, like I mentioned before, 5th, another grind, and then another wave. So it'll be, you know, kind of like that, but, you know, with all its issues, it might be more of a grind. But nothing like that unless something crazy happens. Like I said, like BlackRock decides to take 10% of their assets and throw it into cryptocurrency or something like that. Could happen, if you will. All right, guys, that's the end of my video. I just want to go over that, explain that in the beginning about those other coins that you got to be willing to play it by ear. You may have to exit early. Okay, I'm not saying 2 years. I'm just saying as an example, you know, hold on for 2 years. Obviously, if Bitcoin goes up and it's at a top, and then, you know, I'm really sure that this is going into a deep bear market, well, then obviously at that point, you probably want to take a look at your coins and go, wait a second, maybe I need to exit out of them. You know what I'm saying? Not financial advice. All right, guys, that's the end of my video. If you made it all the way to the end, do me a huge favor, drop a like, hit the subscribe button. Peace.